Well, I see the distribution of vaccine in other countries is not that robust.
I
America is ahead of the game.
I see.
So I think it'll be a long time before she gets the vaccine.
Well, while I have you on, I am over the age of 75, and where do I go to get the vaccine? They said anyone over 75 could have
You see,
it.
the good news is that the coronavirus, I mean, the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine needs a lot of refrigeration at 70 degrees minus, which is a
Yeah.
very, very specialized freezer. But the Moderna vaccine, which is also out today and is being distributed, it only requires a regular freezer, minus 20 degrees. So that is easy. It will be in Walgreens. It will be in CVS.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Really?
it will be available very, very soon. And the governor wanted the nursing home patients to get them first, and then subsequently, I mean, the doctors and the frontline workers, and then I
Right.
think people above 65. So anybody who's in the senior age group, 65 and above, will be the next in line.
Yeah,
And
but
I don't know how that those logistics, whether you'll be contacted directly by the government or by your insurance company or by your physician, because they're not going to be given in physicians' offices. Most likely, it'll be given in Walgreens or CVS.
Okay. I'd rather take it from my doctor anyway, or I would come down to you. That's why I was glad you were going to be on today.
But
Okay.
it's not going to be like the flu vaccine. It's going to be controlled because everybody's name is on it, and there's a recording, and then you have to go back in 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the type of vaccine you get, for the booster shot, which is the one that really gives you the immunity.
So is the Moderna twice also? But all of them are 2 times?
Yes.
Okay. It's all right with me. Anyway, well, I am so glad that you're back safe and sound. I've missed you. I know it's a big holiday time, although
Yes.
people are not going to celebrate it the same way, but it's okay.
It's okay.
I said to people, look, how many years we've had Thanksgivings, we've had Christmases.
Yes.
It's not going to kill you just to relax compared to what you probably saw in Kenya and other places. Those people
Yes.
live a very hard life.
True. And it's the spirit. If we celebrate in the spirit, and now with Zoom and FaceTime and whatnot, we still stay in connection. We can see each other, see each other's expressions, and share the moment, though virtually.
Yeah, share the moment.
Yes.
It's interesting. I wanted to talk about something that I haven't done this before. I saw an article on caring for the caregiver. People don't think about that so much. It's always the caregiver for someone. But now you and your wife, of course, went there. You're the caregiver, but who is caring? Your wife's lucky that she had you because you knew how to take care of her. But so many people are caring for people and nobody really says, how are you doing, right?
True. These are the heroes, really, because they are silently carrying out multiple duties. Many of these caregivers are also having children of their own, careers of their own, have their own household chores and tasks to take care of their spouses. And on top of that, they have aging parents who they're taking care of. And unfortunately, we as a nation haven't done such a good job on custodial care. We give Medicare to seniors 65 and above, but we are very stingy on custodial care for activities of daily living. And other countries, other developed countries do that very well. They give you service from birth to death. If you're not well, they let you go to a nursing home or seniors home. Here, you can only go to a nursing home without paying for it if you are destitute. If you've got any money of your own, you have to exhaust it before you can go into a senior home or nursing home to get it for free. And that is very hard on the caregivers.
Yeah, the other added part that I know you've talked about before, though, is that in many places, people take care of their own. They take care of their family members.
Yes.
I mean, they're there in their home. They're there in their home, even if it's an extra little bedroom or something. That's what makes the person live longer because they know someone's there to love them, and we've grown out of that. I don't like it. It's I have to tell you that I have a story of my grandmother who lived in Miami Beach she lived to be 95, but she lived in a big, it was a huge hotel that they turned into for seniors, and she lived there. She was very happy there, and she played games. She did everything. And then when she really couldn't function in that one room by herself, she wanted to come live with one of her 3 daughters, my mother or one of the other 2 sisters. And for some reason, my mother was working. I didn't think it was going to work, but the other 2 could have done it, and they didn't. And can't tell you the reasons. I never asked them, but she wound up in a nursing facility. Didn't last very long, and that was the difference. She wanted to be with her daughters.
Yes. In fact, all over the world, you have multi-generational families. And there is a lot of advantage to this because these seniors feel young, like you said, that live better, not just longer, but better lives. They've got better quality. They have got the connection with their children and their grandchildren. And also they help impart the cultural value, the value system to their grandchildren because they've got the time on their hand and they give their attention and they help in the nurturing and the caring of the grandchildren, and they help with the household chores. And it's symbiosis. It can be a little difficult, yes, sometimes because you got an extra person in the house, but all of them reach an accommodation where you are given your space, yet you are part of the family. I think so. It was a very positive thing to have grandma or grandpa living with the young family.
And now it's great grandma and great grandpa.
True, because we are living longer. Yes. Mercifully, our lifespan has increased. You know, only 100 years ago, life expectancy in America was 40. In just a matter of 100 years, it's doubled. Today, a girl born today will live to be 80 and a boy 78, which is phenomenal increase because of our modern medicine and our antibiotics and our healthcare. And we understanding of health as overall has been a great contributor. But these people are living alone, lonely lives, isolated, without that symbiosis that you need as gregarious animals. We cannot live in isolation or as hermits. We need other human beings to interact with. And who is better than to have your family around you? True.
So let me tell everybody, Dr. Mohsin Jaffer, he is our guest. We run this ad every month in Boomer Times, and you'll see all the doctors he has working with him. He founded this senior medical associates long before a lot of companies even realized that it would be better to have an organization that specialized in a certain generation, because then you know more, your doctors are more apt to do the right things. And so I want to just give everybody a phone number. If you live in Broward County, if you live in Palm Beach County or Miami-Dade, you want an excellent organization that's going to really care for you and care about you. You want to go there. I know them so well, and I can't speak highly enough about them. As they say, together we can achieve the healthiest version of you. Their phone number, write this down, please. It's 954-659-9690. Get your pencils. I'm going to repeat that. 954-659-9690. And if you want to go on the web, it's seniormedicalassociates.net. And Dr. Mohsin, Dr. Jaffer is so charismatic. I mean, he's been on our show so many times, and he does a lot of TV shows himself. But you can just see this. Not all doctors are born with what he has. This wasn't something you just decided to have. You have had this inspirational, motivational attitude, I think, all your life. And you just put a medical practitioner around it. but you could have been anything. You could have been a lawyer and you did the same thing. You could have been, a shoemaker. You would have been the same way. It's just something you've received from your family. Are your brothers or sisters like you?
They're very different. I
Right.
think it's the passion of medicine. You see, medicine is an art and a science combined together. So it's an art form, and you are reaching people's heart, mind, and soul. And you have to have a connection. You have to be able to reach their minds, because that is the only way to get your patient to take care of herself and to take the medicines that you prescribe, or the advice that you give is followed, because you have understood the person, they have understood you as the caretaker, as your help, as your guide. And then that relationship is enduring and very, very rewarding for the patient, because now they do well, they heal, they take care of their silent diseases, even though they don't have symptoms, but the doctor said take the medicine. They are convinced that if I take this blood pressure medicine or diabetes medicine, I will avoid a lot of problems down the road. And that takes a lot of convincing, a lot of empathy.
So it's down the road, huh? That's a good way to put it. So they don't think about it now, but if they don't, you're saying down the road,
Yes.
they may not then have the problems if they start now, but down the road, if they don't, that's when it's going to start. And then it's almost late because their bodies, it's harder to get better, right?
Absolutely. For example, I go to my doctor and he or she tells me, you got high blood pressure. And then she tells me, go off salt, start exercising, do this, do that. And I come back again and it's still high. Now, there is high blood pressure. It ran in my family. My father had high blood pressure. Now I have it. But I said, doctor, I don't have any symptoms. And he says, take this medicine. And I said, no, why should I take any medicine? But I have to be convinced that if I don't do it now, 10, 15 years from now, I will have heart disease, strokes, kidney failure, multiple problems. So I should be convinced. I should be given evidence-based medicine. And once I'm convinced, then I will take that medicine diligently and hopefully avoid all the pitfalls of high blood pressure over a period of time. That's the relationship.
Yes, and Dr. Jaffer, how are you with supplements? How do you feel about supplements?
You see, Mother Nature created us, and she created everything we need around us. So if I took lots of fruits and vegetables, and I had nice plant-based diet, and I did not take much processed foods and much of these additives, then I don't need any supplements. But the American diet is very deficient, really. We do not take lots of fruits, vegetables, and plant-based. We are more processed food. So maybe then a multivitamin a day is not a bad idea. You don't have to take mega vitamins. You don't have to take large supplements. Just maybe a multivitamin a day is like a cheap insurance policy.
Interesting. Yeah, that's, the health food stores make a lot of money on their vitamins and their other things. And
Yes.
Maybe it is because people, though, don't do that. I buy beets and I peel them and I cook them. I drink the water. I'm very good at what you're saying, but maybe it's not enough, but I do try, except that we know if it isn't organic, I do try to buy organic. If not, we don't really know how it's being grown either.
Anita, it shows on you. You have weathered well. The vagaries of time, you have weathered them well, and you've got a vibrancy and health. And it's because of your consciousness about your diet, your activity, your exercise, and also how we take care of our mind. That is very important. You see how we have the mind, body, soul connection. That's what really the combination of all three. Also, not just what we eat, not just what we think about. It's a combination of all, with our body moving around. One more thing about supplements, I'll tell you, even though we live in South Florida, vitamin D in our body is manufactured by sunlight hitting our skin, and then it's manufactured. But even though we live in a sunny state, about half of our residents are deficient in vitamin D. So I'll request all your viewers to take a look at have their doctor check their vitamin D level. And they might be surprised that they are deficient in vitamin D3. And that might be a good supplement to take.
I've been taking that for, yeah, about a couple of years. I take that every day. And even though I, get out walking my dog, the other thing is I do take magnesium. And the reason is because I am on a high blood pressure medication system. And one of the doctors, a very, very recognized doctor, said, Anita, take magnesium. It's wonderful for your blood pressure. So I am.
You see, Anita, what you are pointing out is unique. Every one of us, there are 7 billion plus people in this world, but yet each one of us is a very individual copy. There is no one like us. Even in our siblings, we are very different. Even identical twins, we have some differences. So this manifests diseases differently. We manifest to the environment, to stress, all differently. And some of us have needs for something while the others don't. That's why it's a very good idea to have a relationship with your physician and let him or her do your blood work. Make sure that there is nothing missing. If you are deficient on anything, or if you're taking medications, because all medications are like a double-edged sword. It can cut the hand that holds it, okay? So medicines are literally a poison, but it's a necessary poison if you have no other option. If I've got high blood pressure or diabetes, I better take my medicine, because the other consequence of not taking it is much worse than taking my medicine. But be aware that any medication has got side effects. So your medicines are giving you a deficiency in magnesium, then you supplement it, or you take your cholesterol medicine and maybe your CoQ10 goes low, you supplement with that. But bottom line is that you have wide variety of fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Then you will get all these supplements from that, you see. And your body is very smart. It'll pick up what it needs. If it doesn't need it, it goes to in your poopy.
That's right. I have a relative who, I never have constipation problems, but I do know that my husband did have that. And I remember one doctor said, in a joke, he says, Bill, you're full of shit. And that meant he had too much. He didn't have a regular, way to excavate. So excavate, is that the word? Anyway.
Yes.
So he had him eat 6 prunes a day, changed it immediately.
That is because he put more fiber in his diet. That's another crime we commit in this country, because our food is so processed and it is so devoid of fiber. It's for fresh fruits and vegetables that contain a lot of fiber. But our foods, you have to be aware. I have a simple test.
Okay.
If you go to the bathroom and your poopy does not float, and if it sinks, that means you are not having enough fiber in your diet. So from now on, all your viewers will watch their poopy. If it floats, you're okay. If it sinks, you need to eat more fiber. So you need to eat more fruits and veggies, or you can take Metamucil, prune juice, or chia seeds, and all those things which help you increase your fiber content, and therefore you do well. The other reason why also we have constipation is because we don't drink enough water. So I would request all your viewers to make sure they wash their potty when they pee. If it is dark yellow, they are not taking enough fluid. And that means they must take a glass of water right away. Okay. Dehydration is one of the biggest causes of constipation, and of course other problems also. We don't feel so good if we are dehydrated. We are 60% water. We need to have water to function well. Our kidneys function well if you have water. Our entire body functions much better if our fluid balance is right.
I'm just thinking when you gave me an idea that we do a little extra newsletter. It's called Sunny Times. Sunny Times. I hope you're getting it. And I can see a little article going in there. Watch your poopy. I think that would really catch people's attention, and I'll tell them that it was your advice, but I will do a little bit more research on that, because that's great. I didn't know that it has to float.
Yes. Because that, if he has enough fiber, it'll float. Otherwise, it's like cement and it sinks.
You know,
Yes.
my doggy is, I got him from a shelter and he has congestive heart failure, but he's on medication and I give him, all his treats are sardines and he's doing very well. So, and he makes two big poopies. He doesn't eat that much. He's just a little 12-pound Shih Tzu, and yet he makes very good poopies. I don't have them, I don't know if they float, but I can tell they're good. So he's getting something that's good.
Yes.
Well,
Mother Nature has a way of taking care of her animals, but we make conscious decisions to eat foods that are not right for us. You see, we make decisions, and
yes,
sometimes we make wrong decisions, and the cultures develop around different foods, and they're not always the best for us. So we must go back to basics, because if you look at
right,
human being, I mean, we've been around for a couple of 100,000 years, but
right.
only we learned farming and domestic animals breeding just for about 10,000 years. Before that, we were hunters and gatherers. And we ate a lot of fruits and veggies and roots and, mainly plant-based diet, which gave you very big poopies, you see.
Yeah, very
Now our
much.
diet has changed because we got Winn-Dixie and Publix and we can buy all these processed foods. So we have changed. It's good to go back to the way we were meant to be eating.
And Dr. Jaffer, there is an organization, I'm sure you've heard of it now, Blue Zones. You know about Blue Zones?
Yes, indeed.
And that's exactly what you're saying. Those 5 specific places, that's just what they do. They eat grains and fruit and they don't, and I guess they're all vegans, vegans, right? Vegans?
Yeah, not
Vegans?
necessarily. They are not
No.
vegans, all of them.
Oh,
They like, for the Okinawans, they eat a lot of fish. The
oh,
Hunzas
okay.
eat a lot of meat also. And
Ah,
basically what it is you hit the nail on the head. They have a plant-based diet mainly, and these proteins from animals are garnishes. They're not the main meal. They're
ah.
just additions, you see. So it's not just a big steak, but it's meat is a small part of the whole diet. Mainly it is all plant-based and grains and fresh vegetables and fruits.
So Dr. Jaffer, as a very, very highly qualified physician, do you spend, I have to know, I know your answer is going to be yes. Do you and your physician spend a lot of time discussing the diet with your patients?
It is, and it is very important. I wish the discussion our doctors have with their patients would be done even by the younger doctors and the younger patients,
Right.
because these are habits you build up. We are a product of our habits. And sometimes a lot of households don't feed their children well. It's easier to take them to McDonald's and eat just food without fiber. Even in McDonald's, you can eat salads and fiber-rich food, but you don't make the right choices, you see. So it's important that even the pediatricians teach the parents of their patients how to feed their children. And the young people should develop good eating habits. But for seniors, it becomes even more important, because at the end of the day, you are what you eat. I'll give you a very, we think I am 70 years old, so my body is 70 years old. It's not 70 years old. My skin is only 1 month old. My blood is changed in 3 months. My bones are remodeled in a couple of years. So I'm a
Ah,
new person. I may be 70 years old, but I'm just a few years old, really, by
ah,
our cells. Your cells die, they get rejuvenated. Even the brain cells we thought were permanent, even they change. So nothing is constant, everything is changing. So, and what is the cause of that? What is the contributor is your diet, your nutrition that you eat helps you recycle your body. So literally you are recycled every day. So what if you eat good food, you get a better body. So what you eat well to, so I am today what I've done over the last 2-3 years, because what was before that is gone. You see, so we are a product of our diet, and it's a very, very important part of our medical treatment, literally. Diet has been neglected, I must say, in the medical field, because we just concentrate on the medicines we give you. But the best medicine out there is your food. If you eat right, if you take the right phytochemicals, if you take the right antioxidants, you prevent a lot of medical problems and literally treat a lot of medical problems with your good food.
So true. I love to talk to you. You'd say everything that I know. My mother was very good at this. My mother was a naturalist years and years ago when it wasn't common. And she used to fight her sisters because my mother always had real butter. And my aunts, her sister said, margarine, no, you shouldn't eat that. You shouldn't do this. And my mother always had her oatmeal and she had her egg. And my mother lived to be 94. I mean, one sister lived to be 95, but my mother always believed in soups. I make a lot of soups, and soup is the most wonderful thing, especially as the weather gets a little cool. And you could just pump so many things into a soup.
Yes. Soup is a good way. I think most cultures, really, soup was the main diet because you throw in everything, right? And everybody got the benefit of the ingredients. And the extraction of all the vital nutrients is in the soup, and hot liquid extracts it even better. So you really benefited.
Yeah, it's and a lot of people, of course, they lived in places they couldn't go to a grocery store like we go now. There's a Publix only on every corner, so they had to have things that they could take care of all winter, and they had to have a lot of food. And so you bought a sack of potatoes, you bought a sack of onions, and you bought a lot of things, and then you grew stuff. I tried to grow tomato plants in my condo. They said it couldn't be done, but I've been pretty successful. I put it in a lighted area, and I keep it watered, and I've got these little tomatoes coming out.
That's a very smart idea. This is a big trend now. Even people who live in a condo, they have a windowsill, and they can grow their herbs.
Yes.
Herbs and spices, you can grow them, and you'd be surprised. It doesn't take so much real estate to grow your own stuff. And if you have a little backyard, oh my God, you can grow a lot of stuff. You're right.
But we're running out of time.
Okay, and there is something really nice about knowing that you picked it off your own little plant that you did. Yes. Anyway, I am so happy to talk to you. I'm so happy you're back safe and sound. And I'm glad that you were able to do what most people should do for their family member, give them comfort. And I know your wife is very fortunate that you have your attitude and what you did. Some men would have said, well, you go take care of your mother and blah, blah, blah. But not you. You're not like that. You're one of a kind, Dr. Jaffer.
Thank you. I've got a great wife, and it's a partnership.
Yep, sounds that way. And the phone number to call for more doctors like Dr. Jaffer, he trains all his doctors, 954-659-9690. Go to Boomer Times, you'll see their advertising, senior medical associates. They have, I think, 9 places all over Broward County, but you'll find them. It's worth your searching. Thank you, Dr. Jaffer. We'll be back again another time. Bye.
Thank you, Anita. Stay safe and get your vaccine.
Thank you. I am. I'm going to do that, and I'll be talking to you. Goodbye.
Bye.